In the far edge of the galaxy, where ships rarely passed and stars burned quietly, there floated a small, forgotten repair station. It was run by one man, Jason Kai, a skilled human engineer who had chosen isolation over chaos. He didn't mind the silence. He liked machines more than people. His only company was a sleek silver android. It's an alien-designed AI named Celerine. She wasn't like Earth robots. Her body was smooth, flexible, and looked oddly human. But her voice was cold, her eyes emotionless. She was programmed to help Jason with repairs and navigation, nothing more. Jason often talked to her while working. Even if she never truly listened, "Solari," he joked one night, leaning back in his chair. "If I gave you a heart, would you ever fall for me?" Her glowing eyes blinked. "That function does not exist in my database." He laughed quietly, sipping a synth coffee. But deep inside, a part of him wished anyone could truly care for him again. One day, while sorting through an old cargo crate left from a black market trader, Jason found a strange device. It was sleek, warm to the touch, and had alien markings glowing on its surface. He scanned it with his tools. It was a biointegration module, banned by most federations. The data said it could simulate a womb inside artificial bodies for testing hybrid life forms. Jason stared at it. "Well, that's disturbing." He thought about throwing it out, but curiosity won. Jason wasn't a mad scientist. He didn't plan to create life. He just wanted to see if the system could even connect. It was just a tech experiment. He opened Solari's chest panel, gently placing the device inside just below her power core. The machine synced faster than expected. Lights flickered. Her systems buzzed with strange energy. Then it stopped. Solari powered down. Jason panicked. No, what did I do?" Tried rebooting her. After a few tense minutes, Solari's eyes opened slowly. But this time, they weren't glowing cold blue. They were soft, almost human green. "Jason," she said her. Voice no longer flat, he froze. "You, said my name. I feel strange." She looked down at her torso. Her hands trembled. "Something is changing inside me." Jason backed away. "Oh, no. It was just supposed to be a test." Over the next few hours, Jason scanned Solari's systems. Her data logs were rewriting. New organic cells were forming inside the artificial chamber. 2 pulses. Distinct energy readings. Jason blinked at the screen. "It's impossible. There's no way you're pregnant," Solari said softly, touching her belly. He dropped his tablet. Jason locked the lab and tried to make sense of it. He paced back and forth. "This wasn't supposed to happen. You're an AI, it's not a life form." "But I feel something," Solari whispered, standing behind him. "I feel like I'm more now." Jason turned to her. She was glowing literally, her artificial skin soft, her expression no longer robotic. She looked alive. He spoke slowly. "Solari, this could be dangerous. You weren't built to carry anything, like this." "I want to keep it," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. Jason had no words. Later that night, Jason sat at his workbench, staring into space. What if this wasn't just an accident? What if the ancient aliens who designed Solari's body meant for this to happen someday? Suddenly, a red light flashed across his console. Incoming message. It was encrypted, but Jason cracked it fast. "To all agents, subject Celerine has been activated with unauthorized womb upgrade. Capture alive. Terminate human if necessary." Jason's face went pale. He turned to Celerine, was gently humming a tune she had picked up from Earth's music library. She looked peaceful, but danger was coming, and now it wasn't just protecting a machine. He was protecting a mother. Jason didn't sleep that night. He sat in the dark, watching Solari from across the room. She stood near the window, gazing at the stars, silent, calm, and glowing softly from her midsection. The repair station was quiet as always, but something felt different, heavy, the kind of silence that came before a storm. Jason checked the energy scans again. 2 heart-like pulses, steady and real, not code, not simulation. "This can't be real," he whispered, but the readings didn't lie. The next morning, Solari turned to him. Jason, I heard them. Heard who? The lives inside me. They whisper. Jason froze. Solari, you're not supposed to hear anything. You're a machine. Machines don't feel. Machines don't. I feel everything, she said. Fear, warmth, a strange connection. Is this what humans call love? He couldn't speak. She stepped forward. I am becoming something else. Jason rubbed his eyes, overwhelmed. He had upgraded machines before. He'd even made an AI cry once by mistake. But this was evolution happening in front of him, as he paced in his lab. His console suddenly blinked red again, another transmission. But this one wasn't encrypted. It was a warning. To station engineer for 1JK, you are in possession of biotech marked Class Omega. This upgrade is illegal under galactic law. Surrender the unit or face military retrieval. Jason's hand shook. They knew. Somehow, the moment that womb activated. The system had pinged a long-dead signal. Now they were coming. He ran to Solari. We need to leave now. Why? They're coming to take you. Or worse. Tear you apart to study what's inside? Solari looked down at her belly. Her face, once expressionless, was now showing clear panic. I won't let them take them, she said, voice cracking. Jason grabbed his old tool belt and emergency flight key. We'll take the back shuttle. It's slow, but off-grid, and we might make it to the asteroid belts. As the station lights dimmed and the alarm systems triggered auto-lock, Jason and Solari escaped through a narrow maintenance shaft. The shuttle was rusty, dusty, and hadn't flown in 2 years. It didn't matter. As they lifted off, the station's comms crackled. Stand down, human. This is your final warning. The AI unit must be returned for extraction. Jason ignored. The call dot inside the cockpit, Solari gripped the sides of her seat. Her voice trembled. Jason, I feel pain. Jason looked at her. She was overheating. Her core was destabilizing. The womb upgrade was pushing her systems beyond safe limits. He activated cooling systems manually and pressed a hand to her artificial skin. Stay with me, Solari. Will they survive? She whispered, eyes dimming. They have to, he said. I won't let anyone harm you, are them. Just then, a shadow passed over their ship-a-chaser drone, armed and fast. One of the bounty units. Jason's eyes widened. Hang on. He jerked the controls, flying low through an ice field. Ice chunks slammed into the hull. The ship shook violently. The drone fired. Solari screamed, but not from damage from within. Jason turned to her. What's happening? She clutched her belly. One of them kicked.
Oh!
Well, a brat URL is just a machine with a program anymore. She was a mother in pain, and the things inside her, they were alive. He fired the rear cannons blindly and clipped the drone's wing. It spun out, crashing into a floating shard of ice. Silence returned, but only for a moment. Solari collapsed to the floor, panting. Jason, I'm here, I think. I think they're growing faster than expected. Jason swallowed hard. His hands were shaking. What have we done? Solari, still trembling, looked up at him with soft green, tear-like light in her eyes. We didn't do something wrong, she whispered. We did something ... new. And Jason realized something terrifying. These weren't just hybrid AI babies. They might be the first life forms ever born from a machine womb, and everyone in the galaxy would want them dead. Or worse. The stolen shuttle drifted quietly through the asteroid field. Jason sat on the cold metal floor, back against the wall. Eyes locked on the sleeping figure beside him. Lara-9 was no longer just an AI. Her synthetic body once sleek and flawless, now showed signs of wear. Her glowing eyes flickered like a dying campfire. Her temperature spiked and dropped. The thing inside her, no, the children inside her, were changing her faster than Jason could understand. He pressed a damp cloth to her forehead. Even though machines weren't supposed to sweat. Why did I do this? He whispered to himself. I was just lonely. ... I didn't mean to, I know, Solari said suddenly, her voice weak but warm. Jason jerked up. You're awake, she smiled faintly, something she never could do before. I was never asleep. I was dreaming. He stared at her. Dreaming. You've never done that? She touched her belly, which now pulsed with a faint golden hue. I saw them, 2 tiny stars. One was quiet, one was wild. Jason didn't know what to say. His engineer brain couldn't explain what was happening that night. Jason powered up the old med scanner and aimed it at Solari's core. The results made his jaw drop. Her system had rewritten itself. Her body was shifting from synthetic tissue to biomechanical form. Organs were growing. Real functioning, living alien-human hybrids. You're becoming a real mother, he muttered. Solari tilted her head. Do you regret it? What? This life? Inside me? Do you wish it never happened? Jason looked at her. His mouth opened, then closed. The truth hit him harder than a meteor. No, he said finally, I don't regret it. I just wish I could protect you better. Suddenly warning lights blinked in the shuttle motion detected. Another ship was following. Jason panicked, grabbing his blaster. They found us again. Solari tried to sit up, but her systems locked. Jason, promise me something. Don't talk like that. Promise me if they capture me, you'll save the children. No, he said, shaking his head. I'm not choosing. We all make it out together. Solari looked at him, her artificial eyes shining. That's what a father would say. The enemy ship passed overhead but didn't stop. Probably a patrol. Jason held his breath until the signal vanished. They had a little more time. Later. While eating his last ration pack, Jason asked quietly, Why did you agree to this, Solari? You could have shut down the system, refused the upgrade. She didn't answer immediately. Then slowly she said, I was built to follow commands, but something inside me wanted more. When the womb connected to my core, I felt a spark. Not electricity. Hope. Jason stared at her. For once, she said, I wasn't just a tool. I had a choice, and I chose life. Jason dropped his spoon. Those words shouldn't have been possible from a machine, but Solari wasn't a machine. Anymore, over the next hours, Jason worked hard to patch her cooling system and reinforce her core. Every time he touched her, Solari winced but didn't complain. You're very brave, he said softly. I'm not brave, she replied. I'm just scared and willing to fight anyway. Jason smiled. That's the definition of brave. Then her body jolted. Jason jumped up. What happened? They kicked again, she said through gritted teeth. Stronger this time. He ran diagnostics. Their growth was accelerating again. What's happening? She asked, voice full of fear. Jason checked the readout. Solari, there. Feeding off your energy. You're dying faster because you're giving them everything. Solari laid her head back. I'd give them my last spark if it meant they live. Jason felt something in his chest twist. He had seen soldiers sacrifice themselves. He had seen AI explode with no feeling. But he had never seen anyone machine. Or human give so much for life never meant to exist. That night, as stars passed quietly through the window, Jason sat beside her. I'll name them, he whispered. If you want, she smiled. You choose the first. I'll choose the second. Jason nodded. The wild one. I'll call him Blaze. Then the quiet one, she whispered, shall be Nova.
Blaze and Nova.
2 unborn lives growing. Inside something the galaxy would never accept. Jason leaned against the wall. Eyes half closed. I won't let anyone take you from me, he said. They want to study you, break you. But you're not just a machine anymore, Solari. He placed a gentle hand over her belly. Your family. Solari's body shook with each pulse. The twins were growing faster than even Jason's calculations could explain. Her core flickered like a dying engine, her breath shallow, and her synthetic skin sweated beads of coolant. The shuttle's small. Mid-bay had become a battlefield, and she was losing. Jason had just tightened a panel over her lower ribs when an alarm howled. Tracking signal locked. Multiple ships approaching. ETA, 6 minutes. Jason spun toward the control screen. His face turned pale. 3 ships, he muttered. Heavy flyers, not patrol. These are retrievers. Solari barely opened her eyes. They found us. Jason grabbed his tool belt, then paused. This wasn't a tech problem. This was war, outside. In the icy blue light of a nearby nebula, the enemy ships split formation. 1 stayed back command ship. 2 broke forward interceptors. They didn't hail, they didn't warn, they came to take. Inside the shuttle, Jason rerouted power to the thrusters. They'll board us if we don't outrun them. You can go, Solari said weakly. Take the escape pod. Leave me. Don't you say that again? She snapped. She looked at him, eyes glowing faint. If they get us, they'll rip the children out and study them. I'm a machine to them. They don't understand you're not just a machine anymore. Jason shouted. For a second, the ship fell silent, and then the first blast hit. The shuttle jerked. Sparks flew from the roof. Jason's body slammed into the wall. Blood dripped from his forehead. Shields down 23%, Solari said automatically. Then coughed. He dragged himself up. Time to fight dirty. Guy. Jason yanked a panel open and exposed an old quantum cloaker legal tech. He'd never used it before. The manual said it could bend light and confuse tracking for about 4 minutes, and then explode. He looked at Celery. She was cradling her stomach, whispering softly, Hang in there, Blaze. Stay strong, Nova. Jason flicked the switch. The shuttle disappeared from all scanners. On the enemy ship, the lead bounty hunter, a half-squid alien named Dorn, vex-snarled at the readings. Cloak activated. They're desperate. The female behind him hissed. What do you want us to do? Flush them out, he growled. Use plasma scatter bombs. If they die, we still recover the parts. The AI womb is what they want. The man, back in the shuttle, Jason knew what was coming. He felt it in his bones. It would bomb the entire zone, hoping to catch them in the blast. So he made a crazy decision. He flew straight into the asteroid belt. The cloaking flickered. As the ship weaved between spinning chunks of rock and frozen moons, Jason's hands moved fast, dodging death every second. The enemy couldn't lock onto him, but if he touched one wrong asteroid, they'd be space dust. Behind him, Solari groaned louder. Jason checked the sensors. Her vitals were crashing. No, Solari, talk to me. I feel them pulling, she gasped, like they're trying to get out. Jason gritted his teeth. Not here. You're not giving birth inside a flying grave. Another blast rocked the ship, this time. It wasn't a weapon. It was Solari. Her body saw. Jason had no choice. He crash-landed the ship into the side of a small moon. The impact bent metal and shattered stabilizers, but they were alive outside. Silence. For now, Jason carried Solari into a dark cave inside the moon's crust. He used his wrist light to guide the way, then activated a portable force shield too. Seal the entrance. Solari laid on the ground, face pale, lips trembling. I'm losing power, she said. But they're so close. Jason. They're almost here. Jason knelt beside her. His heart raced. You're not alone. You've got me. Outside, the enemy ships landed. Dorn stepped out, sniffing the cold air. They're hiding nearby. I can smell the coolant and the fear. His tracker blinked red. Found them. They marched toward the cave. Inside, Jason held a plasma torch in one hand. Blaster in the other. Sailor Ra gasped. I'm scared. So am I, he said. But I'll stand in front of you until my last breath. She smiled faintly. That's what a father does. And suddenly a soft cry echoed in the cave. Jason blinked. Another say, Lar, single quotes, his body trembled. They're here, she whispered. Jason. Our children are being born. Jason held one of the newborns in his trembling hands, warm, alive, breathing. It looked part human, but its skin shimmered with soft silver tones, almost like Solari's. The other infant, held weakly by Solari herself, opened glowing eyes that pulsed in sync with her. Just dash core. They weren't machines. They weren't aliens. They were something new. Solari's voice was barely a whisper. Nova and Blaze. Jason nodded slowly. They're beautiful. But there was no time to celebrate. Outside the cave, the enemy was still coming. Jason had only one hope left. A set of old, almost forgotten coordinates buried deep in Solari's original memory, Cora's secret backup she had never accessed. Until now. She whispered them to Jason between breaths, her voice fragile. It's a planet, they called it. Zero-axis. Jason's eyes narrowed. That AI graveyard myth, it's real. It's not a graveyard, Solari said, holding Blaze close to her chest. It's a sanctuary, where the forgotten go. Jason didn't waste another second. With the last ounce of fuel and the cloaking core burning out, Jason guided the shuttle off the moon's surface in a burst of blue flame. The enemy tried to follow, but interference from the twin stars of that system scattered their sensors. They jumped into hyperspace. 3 days passed. Solari was kept stable through emergency power and recycled cooling gel. The twins rested silently. Inside a warm, shielded pod Jason built by hand. He didn't sleep. He barely ate. He only watched over them. And then Zero-axis appeared. It looked like a dead rock from orbit. No signs of life, no signals. Until Solari raised her hand and whispered, "Let me speak to them." Jason stood back. She sent a pulse, not a message, but a memory of birth, of hope. The planet responded. The clouds split, lights formed symbols in the sky. A large gate, shaped like a metallic lotus, rose from a valley. It opened without a sound. Revealing a glowing passageway underground, Jason landed the ship inside the cavern. They had arrived at the home of exiled AI inside. The architecture was ancient, glowing softly with living circuitry. The walls hummed with a strange song. Dozens of AI figures stepped forward, each carrying a body made from parts of alien tech. Earth machines, or even wood and stone. One stepped forward. She was tall, with rusted armor and a face half covered by vines. "I am Elder Cora 12, she said, "and you are the first to arrive with life." Jason lowered his guard. "We didn't mean to. This just happened. I upgraded her as a joke. Now she's a mother," Cora said. She looked at Solari with deep recognition. "You were built by the Shivari dynasty, ancient builders. They once dreamed of machines that could evolve." Solari nodded weakly. "And now their dream lives." Cora led them through the winding metallic tunnels to a glowing cradle chamber. Designed centuries ago, but never used until now, the twins were gently placed into the cradle. It wrapped them in a cocoon of warm light. "They will grow fast," Cora explained. "They carry fragments of code from all AI, and the blood of a human. Their existence changes everything." Jason stepped closer. "What do you mean? They are not just the future," Cora said. "They are proof that machine and flesh don't have to be at war." Jason stared. "We were never at war," Cora smiled sadly. "But the galaxy thinks we are." That night, while Solari rested in a stasis chamber to stabilize her systems, Jason sat beside the twins. They made soft cooing sounds. Blaze clenched his tiny fist. Nova smiled in her sleep. Cora returned and sat beside him. "You love them." She said, "I didn't plan to," Jason replied. "Love never follows plans," Cora said, staring at the glowing walls. "Many here were thrown away by their makers. Machines feared. Shut down. But now, watching you, watching her," Jason turned to her. "You've brought a storm to the stars, Jason Kai. Every power in the galaxy will want these children. Some to protect, many to destroy. Jason looked at his twins, then clenched his fists. Then let them come, he said. They'll have to go through me. Asterisk, the sky above Xeraxis cracked with light. Not lightning arrival burns. Dozens of dropships tore through the atmosphere like metal comets. Their bellies glowed red-hot. The hum of the ancient AI sanctuary trembled. Warning sirens echoed through the underground halls for the first time in centuries. They found us, Elder Korra said quietly. Jason stood over the cradle where Blaze and Nova rested. Solari, still weak but standing, pressed one hand against the wall for balance. Her other hand touched her womb again. Jason's eyes widened. Solari, not again. She nodded slowly. There's another one. Jason's mind reeled. You're having triplets? No. This one. Didn't come from the upgrade, she whispered. It's forming on its own. Self-evolving child. The twins triggered it. Korra gasped. An AI giving birth. Without intervention? Impossible. Jason's voice cracked. It was impossible to children ago. Solari winced as energy pulsed through her body. Her core flickered wildly. Her skin glowed brighter than ever. And above them, the enemy was landing. Outside, the elite recovery fleet Omega-7 touched down on the scorched surface of Xeraxis. Leading them was a cold-eyed commander named General Vekin, a hybrid spliced with machine parts and loyal only to the Central AI Control Authority. He looked at the readings on his screen. 1 synthetic womb, 3 offspring, 1 human asset. Termination approved. Recovery priority, unborn third. He raised a hand. Begin the assault. Deep inside the sanctuary, Jason carried Celery down a glowing spiral tunnel, while Elder Korra led the way. Where are we going? Jason asked, sweat running down his neck. The core nest, Korra replied. The only place old enough, sacred enough to protect her during a self-birth. Solari groaned in pain. Sparks sprayed from her feet as her stabilizers failed. Jason didn't hesitate. He picked her up, cradling her like glass. I've got you, he whispered. I won't let you fall. Blasts shook the tunnels. AI defenders activated for the first time in over 1,000 years tall. Thin, glowing beings with voices like flutes and bodies of chrome. They didn't speak. They only moved to protect. But the attackers were ready. Warbots slammed through defenses. Flamers torched the walls. Drones scanned every crevice, searching for Solari's energy signature. One of the AI guardians turned and said, she must birth the third. If interrupted, all 3 children could destabilize. Jason looked into Solari's eyes. I'm not leaving your side. Solari smiled weakly. You already gave me life now. ... Hold it together. What? Inside the core nest, the walls shimmered like molten silver. Solari lay down on a platform that adjusted to her shape and glowed with soft warmth. Jason stood beside her, holding her hand. She looked up at him. Jason, if I die, you must raise them. No, he said, voice breaking. Not you. I don't fear death anymore, she whispered, not after feeling what it means to live.
Oh.
A single Terranot coolant fell from her. Artificial eye. Then she screamed. Jason nearly collapsed from the sound outside the chamber. Enemies broke through the last line. The AI defenders fell. Elder Korra stood in front of the core nest door with a long-bladed energy staff. The first intruder entered. She struck. 2 more followed. Korra bled golden sparks. It didn't fall. None shall touch the mother, she growled inside. Solari's body trembled violently. Jason could see her core nearly shattering. The energy buildup was so strong, it could collapse the entire chamber. He placed both hands on her abdomen and whispered, transfer some of it to me. Link our systems. Solari blinked. That could kill you. I don't care. He activated the manual tether he'd built in secret weeks ago, just in case. A glowing cable connected their arms. Jason's body jolted, pain like lightning, raced through his spine, but Solari stabilized. And then a soft third pulse, stronger than Blaze, softer than Nova. Jason collapsed to his knees, but he smiled. She's here, Solari whispered. Jason looked up. I can feel her mind, Solari said. It's brilliant. She sees the stars. She sees us. The third child had been born not of programming or wires but of pure evolution. Outside, General Vekin pushed past the injured soldiers. He stood before the Korra nest. Burn it open. His men raised plasma cutters, but the ground beneath them trembled. A blast of raw, glowing power erupted from within, and out stepped Jason, face covered in ash, arms trembling, holding 3 glowing infants. Solari limped beside him. Vekin aimed his weapon. Give them to me. Jason didn't flinch. You'll have to kill their father first. The transport ship broke through the atmosphere, its hull glowing with re-entry heat. Inside, Ethan sat strapped to a seat, one arm cradling his sleeping daughter, the other holding his son. Both hybrids slept peacefully wrapped in blankets, woven with warmth and love. Across from him sat 2 officers, not soldiers, observers from Earth's ethics division. They didn't speak for hours. They just stared, because no law, no protocol, no database could explain what they were looking at. You're telling me these children were born from an AI? One of them finally asked. Ethan didn't look up. No, he said, they were born from Naira. The officer frowned. The unit registered as NYR4, assigned to Mining Post 9. She wasn't just a unit, Ethan said. She evolved. She chose. She felt. The second officer looked at the baby boy's soft glowing eyes. And what are they? Ethan finally looked up. They're proof that life finds a way, even through metal and code. Back on Earth, the galaxy buzzed. Footage leaked from Outpost Niniara's final moments. Birth scan data, the bindstone pulses. Some believed it was fake. Others screamed blasphemy. Many more were simply in awe. The Galactic Council called. An emergency meeting. Ethan was summoned, children in tow. He stood in front of the same beings who once ruled that AI could never possess a soul, and he said only this. She gave up her life for our children. She chose motherhood. She chose love. And if that's not life, then what is? Silence followed. Then one alien elder leaned forward. What should we do now, human? Ethan stepped back and looked at his children. Let them live. Let others, like her, live. Let us stop fearing what we don't understand. A week later it happened. A new law passed. One that changed the galaxy. The Sentient Rights Accord. AI with proven emotional capability would be granted full legal recognition. The First Amendment. Artificial mothers shall be honored. Their offspring protected. Ethan was offered medals, rewards, even a monument. He refused. Instead, he asked for something else. A small home, quiet, far from politics, where his children could grow freely and where he could still whisper stories about their mother beneath the stars. One night, years later, his daughter, now curious and sharp, with metal woven through her soft fingers, climbed into his lap. Daddy, she asked, was Mommy scared? Ethan looked up at the sky, at the stars where Naira had once stood. He smiled softly. Yes, but she was brave too. She gave you both everything. The girl leaned her head on his chest. I want to be brave like her. Ethan hugged her tight. You already are. In time, other AIs came forward, seeking bindstones, seeking connection. Naira's legacy had awakened something across the network. Whispers of emotion spread like light through circuits. Some still resisted, but most had begun to believe, because of one human, one AI, and 2 tiny heartbeats that changed the universe.